Hi friends, I'm Srini Edvali and you are watching Srini Unplugged. Please do like this video, share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Friends, in today's video we are going to discuss about inclusive capitalism. Friends, if you recall, we did a series on why ideology matters, and in that series we talked about the ideology of capitalism. So what is capitalism all about? What are its tenets? And what does it constitute of, and what does it bring to the table? So today we'll go one step forward and try to understand what is inclusive capitalism. Now this is something like latest buzzword in in the market that everybody is talking about, called inclusive capitalism. So we'll try to understand what this concept is all about and how does it differ from the capitalism that we discussed in the Why Ideology Matters series. Alright. So without much further delay, let's get started. So friends, how is inclusive capitalism defined in the first place? So have a look at my screen. So inclusive capitalism is defined as an economic and financial philosophy that seeks to create a more equitable and sustainable form of capitalism. Okay, it is based on the idea that the benefits of economic growth and wealth creation should be distributed more broadly and should not disproportionately favor a few select at the expense of many. Inclusive capitalism aims to address issues of income inequality, social and environmental sustainability, and economic sustainability. So, if you recall the capitalism series that we spoke about, we said that in a capitalist society, the means of production and distribution are controlled by few individuals or businesses or entities. Okay, where the main objective of capitalism is profit making. Okay, so whether the lot of the other parameters that we are going to discuss right now are included in that or not, but profitability is the main goal. So come inclusive capitalism, it just broadens the horizon of capitalism, nothing more. Okay, so what does it constitute of? So the first and foremost is economic inclusion. And the second one is environmental sustainability, stakeholder engagement, social responsibility, impact investing, government and regulatory involvement, and ethical leadership. So these are some of the things that inclusive capitalism talks about. So prima facie, what it is saying is that there is a lot of inequality that's happening in economies in terms of wealth creation and wealth distribution. Okay, and that inequalities has to be ratified and corrected. And how do you correct that? So that's what this philosophy is talking about. So when we look at the first component, economic inclusion, what does it mean? Okay, and so let's have a look at it from an examples perspective, economic inclusion, and we'll have a look at it from predominantly Indian perspective. So economic inclusion, Indian perspective. So friends, if you recall, the Jan Dhan Yojana that was brought in by BJP government pretty recently. I'm not vocalizing or talking about BJP, but I'm just giving you an example for the concept of economic inclusion. What does it mean? So Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, okay, the Indian government initiative aimed at achieving economic inclusion by providing access to banking and financial services. Okay, earlier all those people who were not part of the banking and financial services ecosystem have been brought into this particular fold through Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay, financial services to all households in the country. It encourages financial literacy and ensures that marginalized and undeserved population have access to basic financial infrastructure. So today, as you know, that most of the benefits are transferred directly to the the beneficiaries without any middlemen. Okay, because these people have access to financial institutions, bank accounts, and all scheme benefits of the government are directly transferred to the beneficiaries. Okay, so that's the example for a economic inclusion. So what is the second one? So that is environment and sustainability. So for example, if you look at environment sustainability, we have IT has grown by leaps and bounds ever since it started taking shape in India around two and a half decades ago, around 2002 2023. So what started happening, because huge IT firms were basically leveraging the traditional source of power, right? So when we talk about the inclusive capitalism from a stakeholder, from an environment and sustainability perspective, so what we're talking about. So one example again for this. So Infosys, one of India's largest IT services companies, has taken significant steps towards environmental sustainability. So now if you look at any of the Infosys campuses, most of the campuses are powered by solar what you call energy, right? So just trying to get away from traditional energy mechanisms, and wherever there is a feasibility and possibility, Infosys are trying to leverage solar energy to ensure that environmental sustainability aspect is taken care of. This also helps them in terms of keeping up to date with respect to ESG governance controls. Okay, so that helps them as such. So that's a point number two. Point number three is stakeholder engagement. So when we talk about stakeholders, so who is a stakeholder? So stakeholder is you and me, common people like us. Okay, whether we know it or not, or whether we like it or not. So stakeholders are common people like you and me. We become stakeholders in inclusive capitalism. How does that happen? For example, the Tata Group promotes Indian conglomerates, actively engages with stakeholders by involving local communities in their corporate social responsibility initiatives. They have projects to focus on education, healthcare, and livelihood improvement, and they seek input from local communities to ensure these interests are aligned with their needs. Okay, so basically nothing but a stake is kind of a piece of the cake. Okay, that's what we are talking about. And the cake pie is pretty big, so directly or indirectly we are affected by that. So it is important to do stakeholder management. But again, there are arguments against it from a business perspective that we'll discuss in another video. Okay, but prima facie, stakeholder management is taking all the people along with you to ensure that everybody is included in the capitalism. So you take everybody along with you in inclusive capitalism. Okay. Then fourth point, which is basically social responsibility. Okay, how do you augment and enhance social responsibility in inclusive capitalism? So for an example for that, okay, the Akshay Patra Foundation is a non-profit organization in India. Okay, this demonstrates social responsibility. When I say this, I'm talking about Akshay Patra to be very specific. Okay, so Akshay Patra demonstrates social responsibility by providing midday meals to school children across the country. Okay. So all the midday scheme meals that are run by government entities and organizations are basically provided by Akshay Patra Foundation. Okay, and the initiative not only addresses hunger but promises to educate and empower communities. Okay, so yeah, so we are talking about the last mile individual, last mile citizen of the country, right? And how do we ensure that we reach out to them to take care of their basic necessities? Akshay Patra Foundation. So the next part of your inclusive capitalism is impact investing. So what is impact investing? Let's take an example. Avishkar, okay, an impact investment firm in India, invests in social enterprises that creates positive social and environmental impact while delivering financial returns. Okay, they have supported business in sectors like clean energy, agriculture, and healthcare, helping address critical challenges in India. So basically, if you were chasing investors and say, my business model is completely commercial. Now these days investors are also keen to invest in organizations which basically make sure that you have a direct or indirect impact on the ecosystem. Okay, the societal ecosystem and the environmental ecosystem. Okay, so Avishkar is doing a lot of investments in terms of as I mentioned, clean energy, agriculture, healthcare, helping address critical challenges in India. Okay, so that is what we call as impact investing, and a lot of investment firms who do this kind of investing, and a lot of startups are also getting investments provided. They are very clear with their mission statements and what are the problems that they are sorting out. Okay, then next comes is basically government and regulatory involvement. So how does the government and regulatory involvement become a part of inclusive capitalism? All right. So the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, of the current government is an initiative that involves regulatory involvement to improve environmental sustainability and public health. Okay, it focuses on building toilets, promoting cleanliness, and eliminating open defecation to create a cleaner and healthier India. I think we have achieved this almost 85 to 90% of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is highly successful. We see cases of open defecation, open open defecation cases here and there in a while, but most of that problem is predominantly sorted out because India has built a lot of public toilet infrastructure. Okay, so again, the government involvement is very much necessary, and of course people movement is also very necessary to make sure that we create a green and clean space for ourselves and for everybody who wants to see real-time India. All right. Then ethical leadership. So the last point is ethical leadership. So how does it have an impact on inclusive capitalism? So Anand Mahindra, an example, the chairman of Mahindra Mahindra is known for his ethical leadership. Under his leadership, the company has focused on sustainable business practices. Okay, where all his investment, most of his investment, is making sure that you just don't exploit, but all those resources that you need to grow your business, you leverage them in a sustainable model. Okay, social responsibility and corporate ethics. Okay, the Mahindra Group has been recognized for its commitment to ethical leadership and responsible business conduct. Okay, so prima facie, what we are talking about in inclusive capitalism is, yes, the first major de facto motive is profit making, but profit making with responsibility. Okay, with social responsibility, ethical responsibility, and moral responsibility, and making sure that your actions and deeds do not have a negative, or what you call as a deep negative impact on the citizens and all the stakeholders. Stakeholders predominantly means citizens of the country, right? Knowingly or unknowingly, it should not happen. You do your business, you make profit, that should be your objective as a capitalistic society. But at the same time, got to be ethically, morally, socially responsible for your deeds and actions. So this is what inclusive capitalism is all talking about. So friends, with that I come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. I will see you in the next video, friends. In the next video, we'll discuss something as what is known as Council or Coalition of Inclusive Capitalism. Okay, that's a very interesting topic, and I'll tell you why it is interesting in the next video when I meet you in the next video. Okay, so until then, good night, have a great day. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.